The first humans who drank alcohol didn't invent it. They found it by accident. Long before cities, farming, or written history, our ancestors may have been drinking naturally fermented fruit that had fallen from trees. And according to some scientists, alcohol has been influencing human behavior for millions of years. Most people think alcohol began with ancient civilizations like Egypt or Mesopotamia, but the real story might be much older. Imagine a forest millions of years ago. Overripe fruit falls to the ground. Wild yeast begins fermenting the sugars inside it. The fruit starts producing ethanol, animals eat it, and become intoxicated. This still happens today. Elephants, monkeys, birds, and even insects have been observed consuming fermented fruit. The surprising question is this: what if our ancestors were doing the same thing? Scientists have proposed something called the Drunken Monkey Hypothesis. The idea is that early primates evolved an attraction to the smell of ethanol because it helped them find ripe, energy-rich fruit. Ethanol was not originally a recreational drug. It was a signal that food was available. This changes the entire story. Our relationship with alcohol may have started before we were even human. Genetic evidence makes this theory even more interesting. Around 10 million years ago, an ancestor of humans and African apes developed a mutation that made alcohol easier to metabolize. In simple terms, our ancestors became better at processing ethanol than many other primates. Why would evolution do that? One possibility is that they were regularly exposed to fermented fruit on the forest floor. Those who could digest small amounts of alcohol gained access to extra calories without being harmed as easily. In other words, alcohol may have been part of the human diet long before it became part of human culture. But the story takes a dramatic turn around 12,000 years ago. This is when humans began settling down and experimenting with agriculture. For decades, archaeologists believed people first grew grains to make bread. Then, evidence from the ancient site of Göbekli Tepe in modern-day Turkey suggested something surprising. Some researchers proposed that early humans may have been brewing beer for rituals and communal gatherings. Think about how strange that is. Beer may have helped build civilization. Large feasts required cooperation. Cooperation required social bonds. Alcohol may have made those gatherings more rewarding, encouraging larger communities and shared religious ceremonies. Soon after, evidence of deliberate alcohol production begins appearing across the ancient world. In China, archaeologists discovered residues of a fermented drink made from rice, honey, and fruit, dating back about 9,000 years. In the Middle East, early beer production appears thousands of years before many major civilizations reached their peak. Alcohol was becoming more than food. It was becoming culture. Ancient Egyptians brewed beer daily. Mesopotamians worshipped a goddess of beer. Greek philosophers debated wine. Roman soldiers received alcohol as part of their rations. But here's the detail most people miss. For much of history, alcoholic drinks were often safer than water. Fermentation could reduce harmful microbes, making weak beer or wine a relatively reliable source of hydration in some settlements. Alcohol was not just entertainment. It was medicine, religion, nutrition, and social technology. The darker side came later. As humans learned to distill alcohol, drinks became far stronger than anything our ancestors had encountered naturally. Evolution had prepared us for occasional fermented fruit and weak fermented beverages, not highly concentrated spirits. Our biology changed slowly. Our alcohol changed quickly. That is why alcohol can feel strangely familiar and strangely dangerous at the same time. It is both ancient and modern. The next time someone raises a glass, remember this. The story of alcohol did not begin in a bar. It began in a forest with fallen fruit, wild yeast, and a curious ancestor who had no idea that a chemical called ethanol would one day become one of the most influential substances in human history. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe to 5 Minutes Explained for more videos like this.